Welcome back. My name is Kit.
My name's Madison.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Steve.
And this is Streaming Things, streaming Yellowjackets. We are back for season 3.
Buzz, buzz,
Buzz,
buzz.
buzz, 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 buzz.
We're extra buzzing this time because Madison, of course, always joins us for our Yellowjackets coverage. You are
love
back.
Madison.
If you're listening on the Patreon to our Arcane coverage, you already know Madison's back. But if not, surprise!
Hello.
Madison,
now-
this is your first time back on the main feed for
I
in a minute.
know. It's been a minute.
Since the boys this summer.
Yeah, the boys. Yeah. I'm glad to be back. I love the Yellowjackets.
And us.
And you guys. Yeah, I guess.
We're all right.
You guys
I'm
are
glad to be
okay.
back. I love Yellowjackets.
You guys are okay.
You're actually wearing the titular yellow
I
jacket.
am. Yeah, the one that you gave me.
Oh, we didn't want to. I didn't want you to shout that out. But
Yeah, no, I got this myself. Yeah.
yeah,
I am a Yellowjacket.
Andy is here for the first time to
guys.
join us for a Yellowjacket foursome. I'm curious though, because now listeners, Andy deserves credit because we were like, yeah, he probably can't be on the Yellowjackets coverage because you didn't watch Yellowjackets. And he's like, don't worry, I will. But we were on season 3, and this was just last Sunday. So in a week, Andy has watched all 20 of the published Yellowjackets episodes, episode 1 of season 3, and he had to do the Game of Thrones, Severance, and Arcane watches. So about 27 episodes of television in 1 week.
It's a lot of
Did it.
shit.
Welcome to my world, Andy.
If you see these bags under my eyes, you know why.
And he went on dates, he cooked dinners, he hung out with his family, he went to work, he did all kinds of stuff,
Yeah.
which I would have cut all that
Hustling.
stuff out to
Hustling.
make more TV time.
Pretty
But
tired. Think I'll go home now.
huge props to you, Andy. But we're curious,
man.
what'd you think of Yellowjackets?
It's fucking awful. I don't know what I'm.
just leaves. His chair's empty the rest of the time.
No, I think that Yellowjackets is fucking fire. I'm sad that I haven't been watching this whole time. I think that it's this really interesting mix of like kind of Stephen King vibes meets Stranger Things meets The Lord of the Flies. I'm sure that reference is pretty obvious, but like
What?
you know, with intention. I think that the first season, everybody told me that the first season was phenomenal and the second season not quite as good. I kind of had the opposite experience. I really liked the second season, I think more than the first. It's so good at needle drops. And, you know, I live for nostalgia for the 90s. So
I'd say specifically, it's our music, I think, is
Yeah.
a big part of it.
yeah, so every time it happens, like when we start talking about this premiere, it's one of the most self-aware needle drops I've ever seen, and I fucking love it. But the show struggles a little bit with pacing, and when I started the show, because I didn't know anything about it, I knew there was like some cannibal something, and that was kind of all I knew. And I knew that it had a stacked cast. When I started it, I was a little nervous, like, how are you going to drag this out for 3 seasons? You know what I mean? Like, they're stuck in the forest for 18 months or something. You could cover that in 1 season. This could have been a limited series, whatever. And so it does struggle a little bit with pacing periodically, where it's like you can tell that they're kind of dragging their feet intentionally. They're like, hey, we got renewed. So we can't, you know,
We could probably get 3
Reveal
seasons
too
out of
much.
this.
yeah, we can't ruin these plot points
We're
yet.
still in winter.
But I think that they've done an awesome job of like, hey, the first season's summer, the second season's winter, and now we're in spring here in the third one. And I think that they're actually kind of, at least for the start of this season, it feels like they're picking up exactly where they left off. For me, I mean, it's just been a blur of Yellowjackets this week. You know what I mean? So it's kind of all blending together. But yeah, I think this show's incredible. I would be surprised. I have not listened to your all's coverage, but I'd be surprised if Christina Ricci didn't win every flower at the end of the episode, because she is the reason to watch this show. She's so fucking good. And the casting is
Contain yourself.
unbelievably good for like young Shauna versus grown-up Shauna. Melanie Linsky's incredible. Of course, we all love Juliette Lewis and Sophie Turner. All of
Sophie
the
Thatcher.
casting. So Sophie Thatcher, yes.
Sophie Turner's cool.
Yeah,
but
she is cool.
irrelevant.
Not in this show.
Yeah, the casting is fucking phenomenal, and yeah, I can't wait to talk about it with you guys.
If you're new to the show, what we're going to do is talk about our overall thoughts on each episode, and then we'll do a scene-by-scene, play-by-play recap of the episode. And we got some fun categories at the end. We talk about our choice cuts, our top 3 favorite moments of the episode. We'll get into some Honeycombs. It's kind of a throwback to our legendary Stranger Things coverage, where we try to find Easter eggs that are kind of pointed toward the time period, i.e. the 90s. That's really stretching it a lot of times at this point in the show, but we do have that section still.
The show's kind of getting away from that. Kind of stuff.
But we will cap it all off with our buzzworthy performance, our favorite performance of each episode as well. And if you're listening to this on the first day, it's a Saturday. It's February 15th. That's because the season premiered yesterday, February 14th. Happy Valentine's Day.
Yay.
Episode 2 also premiered yesterday. So we will drop that coverage Monday in 2 days.
It should be said that none of us have actually watched episode 2 as of this recording.
Correct.
So we don't know what's happening. You probably already know what happened in episode 2 by the time you're listening to this. We don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know yet.
And it's funny because I thought to myself as I finished this episode, this is one of those they expect you to binge the first 2.
Yes.
Because it's very much needs some more to be a full premiere. But yeah, that's not how we do it. We always record without watching the rest. And this is actually a couple of weeks before Valentine's Day that you're listening to this.
Do you like dumb theories that are usually wrong? We've come to the right place.
Gonna get it. Before we get into overall thoughts, I want to say I had to watch YouTube recaps of the first 2 seasons. Typically, I would take the time and literally, like with Stranger Things, I rewatched each season as a new one came out. That's usually what I do.
Can't wait to do it again, man.
But I didn't do that for this because I don't have time. We're doing Severance, we're doing Game of Thrones, we're doing Arcane. I got all the stuff I cover for TikTok and Instagram and YouTube and all that shit. I just didn't have time. So I watched recaps and I actually had forgotten a lot because I heard
It's been 2 years since the last season.
somebody was like, oh, they wrote out Juliette Lewis. And I was like, why is Juliette Lewis not coming back? I swear to God, I had that thought.
Wow.
Dude,
That's crazy.
I forgot shit about Severance that you would not believe from season 1.
Literally all of it.
Yeah.
In my case.
So it's like, I do that. And then, I got to the end of the recap and I was like, aw.
Oh, no.
But then again, that makes sense. Why'd they say it written out? She dad.
She's expansive.
But yeah, I forgot a lot of stuff. I don't know if you guys experienced that or clearly not to that degree, but.
Yeah, there were some things I had to. So all of my notes from the previous shows I had kept. So I skimmed through and, looked at the big plot points. And then I actually revisited our coverage from season 1 and season 2, just kind of the endings, because I wanted to know my initial overall feelings for season 1 and season 2. So I had to refresh myself with some of the information. But and I read some articles about, preparation for season 3 and stuff like that. And that kind of gave me some insight into some of the things that happened in season 2 and season 1.
I also forgot a lot of stuff as well. Specifically, I had to pull up a list of okay, who were the background girls in the 90s? Because some of the girls, because they pop up in this episode, I'm like, who the fuck is that? Are they making this character up? And
they kind of do they've been here all along.
It's like
in
Lost.
season 2.
Yeah.
Lost is they've been here. That's Jim.
Yeah. That's Arnst. We all know Arnst.
Everybody knows Arnst. Thank you guys for checking it out. If you don't know, if you are just totally new to streaming things, we are covering Severance actively right now for season 2 as well. So check that out. And on the Patreon only, patreon.com/streaming things, you can listen to us rewatching Arcane. We're currently in season 2. We're rewatching Game of Thrones, currently in season 4. So there's tons of content there. You got 40 something episodes to delve into. They also on Patreon only have ad-free versions of all these episodes.
Maybe the best perk of all.
A monthly newsletter published somewhere around the 6th, typically. And all kinds of movies, too. People vote and nominate and choose those. We are observing Black History Month on patreon.com/streaming things currently. So Training Day is likely to win, is what it's looking like. Which is understandable because King Kong ain't got shit on it.
Yep.
So you can find all that stuff over there. Thank you for listening. Let's get into it, guys. Overall thoughts on this first episode. Madison, how does it feel to be back? Are you excited for the rest of the season? A little let down? Where's your head at?
So it's interesting. I mean, Andy, you kind of alluded to this in your initial talking about the show, because you said that you really liked season 2 in comparison to season 1. I am definitely the opposite. And I rewatched our tail end episode or last episode of season 2 coverage. And I remember being very dissatisfied with where the story left off. Because again, I don't know if the payoffs just weren't being met for me. There were certain things I was like, they really built up this, this plot. And then it just kind of the resolution of it just wasn't what I was anticipating, or it just seemed really flat. So I'm a little apprehensive to jump back in. But I will say I love these characters. I love just kind of the vibe of the show in general. So I'm excited to be back. and revisit these characters. I don't think this first episode is anything spectacular. Again, I think the idea was for this episode to be paired with episode 2 as kind of like a conjoined, this is like the first view back of these characters. But I'm excited to revisit and see if they can, bring me back to that fine-tuned, high suspense storytelling that they captured in season 1.
Andy.
So I think that this does a really good job of kind of like jumping right back in, dealing with the grief of Natalie passing at the end of season 2. Especially everything that Misty is doing in this episode is so fucking fun with her cosplaying as Natalie and stuff. It's so fucking fire. I love the soundtrack, even like the ways where they kind of show like there's fucking bodies in the wake of these girls no matter what they do kind of thing. When we have like the Tiffany Dine and Dash sequence and stuff.
I laughed so hard.
And dude, it's so fucking good. And why I call it the self-aware needle drop, I thought that was the juxtaposition of that was just fucking incredible. I agree that it feels like an incomplete premiere because there's too many unanswered questions, but we only got to watch the one right now. But I had a fucking great time with it. It feels like it nailed the vibe immediately. And there's always a struggle going back to a series after a couple of years where it feels a little off. I felt that way when we started covering Severance, the premiere of season 2, the way it opened. I was like, I don't know if this doesn't feel like Severance right now. And it took a little bit to get in. I didn't feel that way at all with Yellowjackets. It felt like they just picked right back up.
Well, also, you had just watched it too.
Yeah.
But the transition was so easy for me.
Steve, what's your name?
Yeah. What is my name? Say my name. It's good to be back in Yellowjackets world. I mean, I think out of the 3 of us, when we did our initial coverage, I was probably the least into the show out of the 3 of us. But I mean, if I'm being honest, as soon as the main credits hit, no return, I'm like, fucking love this song. Like, I really love the opening credits music. I want to like echo everything that Madison and Andy have said so far. I do think this premiere is lacking a second part. Again, we haven't seen episode 2, which you guys will probably have listened to by the time, or seen by the time you hear this episode. But there's nothing like super splashy that happens in this episode. I mean, there are things that happen. I mean, I heard voices in the trees, guys. And is that what you heard, Travis?
Oh, the Travis voice.
Probably. I don't know.
I missed him.
We get that. We get the bodies left in their wake and the dine and dash and stuff like that. Like, so stuff's there, but it wasn't anything like very gripping. It was just kind of like, it was, I called it in my notes, the soft launch of Yellowjackets season 3. It was just like, hey buddy, it's been a couple years. You want to hang out with the gang? Come hang out with the gang. The one thing I did think was kind of strange, I don't think it's necessarily bad. It's just, there is a little bit of a strange juxtaposition going on where usually in the past, whatever's going on in the 90s storyline kind of in a vague way matches in tone, at least, with what's going on in the present. And this one was strange in that, I don't know, it felt like the present day storyline was very much dealing with the ramifications of season 2's end, Nat's death, the funeral, what Missy's going through. So everyone's kind of dealing with the fallout of that. But the 90s storyline is very much new beginnings and almost like, I mean, they reference stuff that happened, but there's a very different vibe to it. Like, oh, last time you saw us, the house burned down. It was winter. What are we all going to do? It was fine, you guys. We made it out okay. The lesbians built a hut. We're great.
We've got teepees.
We got teepees.
For peepees.
The only thing that's still going on is Maury's butthead. But yeah, I mean, overall, like, it was fun. It wasn't the splashy, like, attention grabby thing. If they only dropped this episode, I think that would be a real bad sign, honestly. But I'm hoping that episode 2 is the thing that really kind of grabs you. It's like, oh, we're on for a ride for season 3. Lock in, guys.
Lock in.
Yeah. What about you, Kit?
I'm kind of with you. I was really good to be back. It had been so long for me. Like I watched so much stuff that I was like, I can't even honestly say that I was like Yellowjackets.
Buzz.
I was not buzzing. I was okay. I was like, Christina Ricci's still there. I'm coming. I'll sit down.
I'll be there.
But I'm not super excited. But as soon as it started playing, I was like, oh yeah, I fucks with this show. I forgot I did. I'm really intrigued by what's going on with the coach. As far as
He's going to be our villain, right? Like,
I don't know. I mean, he's the only guy who actually isn't a villain, though. If you think about it, like he might be the villain of the show, but he's the only one that like hasn't eaten people. And he's like, guys, what are you doing? Kind of guy.
Get me away from these girls.
And yeah, we've talked a lot about, I think I didn't re-listen to our coverage, but I have vague memories of me going on rants about what they're doing with the maybe supernatural, maybe isn't. And they did cross a line where it's like, if it's not supernatural, you've kind of straight up lied to us. I liked the ambiguity of it at first. Like it could just be in their heads. It could be a supernatural force, but they've done too much stuff, I think, to say that it's not supernatural now and made that lesson. I love Walter, huge fan of Elijah Wood. I think he's so goofy and silly and paired with Misty. I love that so much.
I just want the Walter and Misty show.
Yeah.
So I hope they handle that properly and give us great Walter Misty action because that's what I want. I'm in and I'm ready to see what happens and I hope they handle it well. I will say that they have 5 seasons planned. I'm kind of bummed about that.
Oof.
Oh, I think I knew that.
Yeah, I think we knew that at one point.
Yeah.
I just relearned that. I don't like that. We'll see. But
Where the story's at now, it's like
I kind of wish they'd wrap it up.
Because my take on that is like, surely this is the last season they're in the woods. Like there's going to have to be, this is just
there's
me.
one more winter they got to get through.
Really?
Yeah, because
they were a year and a half. Yeah.
Yeah,
so.
they mentioned they went through 2 winters.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're definitely not. Because
Okay.
a lot of the show is them. I think they're going to be there the whole time.
You think so?
Yeah,
They're going to have to reintroduce some new. They've been here all along.
those are the. I hate to say this, but those are the stars. Like,
I agree.
I don't know who's watching the show. I know more people than ever because it got added to Netflix. But like Melanie Linsky and Juliette Lewis and Christina Ricci are like, we're old. Those are the stars. But like, it's Sophie Thatcher.
But like Sophie Thatcher, Sophie Nalise, Samantha Hanratty, like those. I mean, for my age group, like I mean, those are. My age group. Sorry, I do like them.
Yeah, you think Christina Ricci's chuggy? Is what
No,
you're saying.
I'm not saying that. I'm not.
You don't want to keep her.
Nice Casper reference.
Thank you.
No, but I what you were saying, like for me, I'm more intrigued by the 1996 timeline.
Me too.
That has been more entertaining in my personal experience.
I mean, if you can somehow get Walter and Misty into the 90s storyline,
for sure.
you'd have the perfect show
Walter,
at that point.
maybe they will. There could be
Time travel.
Andy said something interesting. He said, and I quote now, he said regarding the symbol, the little triangle stick man with the slash. Clearly it was there before they got there, ... But they could do something interesting with timey-wimey stuff, a la Dark or something like that, where it's like, they're the ones that put that there and they're the ones that discovered it via timey-wimey stuff. You know what I mean? I don't know. I only said that because the idea of Walter just walking in the woods, like citizen detecting all the way to the place.
Some coniferous trees.
That's ridiculous. And I would love it. He's just in the pit. Hi, coach.
He was the girl in the pit.
I left the protein bars. Did you like them? Because that kind of stuff's weird. Why is that there?
The coach is played by Hilary Swank in the future.
Yes. Boys don't cry. Yeah.
But something that happened in season 2 that we never really revisited was there was like a scene where they were rescued, like they were like getting off of the plane. And so they essentially added like a third timeline to the series. And I don't think we ever revisited that. And so that's kind of what I'm yearning for. Like obviously them in the woods is really interesting. And
you want to see the girls back home?
Yeah, I want to see them how they're like readjusting back to the normalcy of life. And
Hurt Locker style.
Exactly.
Especially now that Shauna's made the point in her writings this episode is like, we can't go back now because of what we've done.
And I think it almost in a way would help. I mean, this is just me like blabbering what I think would be best for the show, but who knows? What do I know? I think it would make more sense for the present characters to see them trying to adapt back to like regular life when they were younger, and that like helps rationalize their decisions when they're older. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I just overall saying I would like to see more of that in the future.
That's going to be season 5 stuff.
Oh God.
When you're no longer young on the show.
Yeah, when I'm 35.
Fucking shit.
Yeah.
And we'll be dead.
We'll be in our mid to late
It's
40s.
just me doing the coverage.
Welcome back.
I'm doing everyone's voices.
You're
Yikes.
Kyle's mom?
No, I'm gonna do Steve's voice and then do your voice.
Some people are like, their buttholes clench, like, oh no, are they going to do Kyle's mom again?
Yes.
Yes, we are.
I think
got
I'm more excited
pancakes
for
cooked.
Travis.
Oh,
Yeah,
he
bro.
would- He would be that.
Yeah,
hanging
for
out.
sure.
Just hanging out with babes in the woods.
I'm just in this land of babs. Getting high with Lottie.
I hear the trees.
Now it's time for our full recap, but first, a quick word from one of our sponsors. This episode of Streaming Things is brought to you by BetterHelp. It's time for a new year, new me. That's what everybody says, right? What do you want your 2025 story to be? Every January brings you 365 blank pages waiting to be filled. You are the writer. And so maybe this year you're ready for a plot twist, a Shyamalan twist. Maybe there's a part of your story you've been wanting to revise. Life isn't about resolutions that fade by February. We know the gyms are crowded in January and they're pretty much open by March. Let's not be that person. It's about picking up the pen and becoming the author of your own life. So think of therapy as your editorial partner, helping you write new chapters and create meaningful stories you deserve to live. When I talk to somebody about my wants, my fears, my hopes, my dreams, my traumas, I feel like I can get clarity on my goals, what it is I'm actually trying to achieve. So give BetterHelp a try. If you've never tried therapy before, it's a really great start to this journey. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable and convenient, serving over 5 million people worldwide. There's a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists with a wide range of specialties. You can easily switch therapists at any time and at no extra cost if things aren't working out. So write your own story with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/streamingthings today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/streamingthings. And we're back. Well, episode 1 of season 3 is called It Girl. It starts in the past with, I like how they do this because they're fucking with you. Mari is running. It looks like she's being hunted. And you're like, oh shit, what are they doing to Mari?
Like, good.
Yeah, Mari's getting numb-numbed. But no, the girls are chasing her as part of a game, right?
But then you also notice she doesn't have the necklace on. And the
Couldn't be
picker,
her.
Yeah, couldn't be her.
Akila and Jen kind of run by. Shauna tackles her, fucking bites her.
Dude, Shauna's out for blood.
I love it.
And it turns out Misty has it. It was all a decoy. They're playing some kind of game. We get a sweet needle drop, but it was just a decoy biatch. And the losing team has to serve the winning team at their solstice dinner.
What
That's
a
all this
classic
is.
kid thing to bet on. Like, oh, you be my servant for a day.
Yeah.
You have to be my bitch.
Make my soup.
Don't spit in it, though.
You better not. We get the title sequence. We don't usually get those on episode 1s, but we got one, baby.
They knew we wanted it.
They knew they did.
They knew we
I needed it. That's the best part of this episode.
Much like a barbecue Jackie, we hungered for this title.
Yes.
Now they have little teepees, and they've got like a graveyard and the rabbits, George, and a vegetable garden.
The Wabbits, George.
You pet the wabbits, George.
One of my
about
favorite
the Wabbits.
because they're doing a bunch of different like establishing shots that life is good, spring's happening, the girls made it, and so they're showing like Van and Ty together. They've got the little rabbit farm. They're doing all
But
this
it's
stuff.
giving Midsommar, you know?
It is
Love
giving
it.
him in Samar. But my favorite one is the girls are playing telephone, and they cut, and then Travis at the end, and Travis like, "Well, it's not even man."
We don't even have
So
phones.
at this point, they've been in the woods for a year, right? Because they crashed in spring of last year.
Was it spring that they crashed?
Or was it like summertime?
I thought it was summer.
I thought it was
Summer.
like
Okay, so
yeah.
Well, it would've
it's not been a full
We've
year.
talked about this before because
know.
of your soccer knowledge.
Yeah, because soccer season
Yeah.
is during summertime, leading into the fall. So
We did have this conversation, but a lot of people wrote in and said, like, actually, the season, my soccer season was at this time. So I think it just depends on where you grew up.
Yeah, because
If you call it football, it would be at a different season.
That's true. Yeah.
I get it.
but I think we landed on summer.
Yeah.
So they haven't been there a full year since it is
They're
springtime.
about to be because this is the summer solstice festival, right?
Right. Exactly.
So this is we're creeping
Big-
up on a year.
An anniversary,
Mhm,
if you will.
Yeah, there's Mari's still talking shit. They blow the big horn. That's right. That's all.
Misty's doing it. She's so proud to be doing it.
I'm so glad that, of course, Misty is the one that has the horn.
I love my job.
Gondor calls for aid.
Which is
Rohan
just
Lanza.
a fun behind the scenes thing. But Samantha Henratty was pregnant.
Yeah, she had a baby.
She did have a baby. She was pregnant while she filmed season 3. So, and I always like to see how like the
They
camera
hide that.
they hide that. Yeah, and I mean, it's springtime. Everyone's wearing like t-shirts and shit. Yet
Sometimes
she has
bikinis.
she
Yeah.
has this huge fucking sweatshirt on.
Yeah.
Who was it that was pregnant?
Sammy Hanratty, who plays young Misty.
Young Misty was pregnant.
Oh, okay.
What an unfortunate, like, it would have been so much better if she got pregnant during the winter season.
I know, for real.
Poor
But
thing.
it's just something I will definitely look out for, like in this season.
You
'cause
belly
I'm-
watching?
Of course. It's
Stay
just
tuned
something
for
I
the
do.
segment and streaming things from here on out called Belly Watch.
Belly Watch.
Hosted by Madison.
No, for real. I'll point it out because I love continuity and picking and like nitpicking that shit. Yeah.
Belly.
Shauna does not want to go to this little horn meeting. So she fucks off there. It's the Summer Solstice Festival, right? And the fan's been working hard on her commencement speech, essentially. A little
She
story
says previously on the Yellowjackets.
I know.
That was
It's
fun.
very meta. It either works for you or it doesn't.
I liked it.
Our Sheroes.
And basically it's
Sheroes.
She-Rose is good.
It's intercut with Shauna journaling the hard, cynical truth of the matter, with her telling the whimsical version
Ooh,
of.
you want some teenage angst? Here we go.
Yeah.
I'm going to journal this.
They call them sacrifices and miracles.
This was me in 2004, but with live journal. Like, oh, they don't even know. They don't even fucking know.
Yeah. Listening to Creed,
Yeah.
Linkin Park. I'm just crawling in my
Become so
skin.
numb.
Jen is the hunter now, so Natalie has like trained her. Did we know Jen? Or is this new?
We knew
I knew.
Jen.
Yeah, I remember. I was testing you.
I'll be honest with you. I didn't know Jen. I had to, again, this is one of the girls I had to look back and like, has she been on the show? She's not just a random person they introduced like in season 2. Oh no, she was in season
There were
2.
3 women that they reintroduced. Melissa, Crystal, and Jen. Those were like the 3P people that you like had to keep tabs on because they
Was
would.
Aquila one of the ones?
I
they
thought
introduced?
Aquila was new too.
Aquila, yeah.
Okay.
She was newer.
Or just brought more into focus.
But like
Yeah.
Melissa and Jen were the ones that were always together, sort of commenting on stuff in season 2. Like
Who's
they might
the-
cut to them and
is
they'd be
Melissa the one that befriends
has a
Shauna?
personality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the blonde.
Melissa. Okay.
The blonde.
And then, Shauna's journaling the truth. Back in the present, Callie is token up. She's late, Shauna says, I guess for school, right? You're smoking a doobie for school? That's
At
a very,
7 in the
it's a very
morning?
Kit Laser
You've been
thing to
smoking
do.
chronic.
By the way, oatmeal is fire. I don't know what this is about. Because
We know you love your oatmeal baths.
They both shit on yeah, but also to eat.
I will
Well,
say
yeah, that
it
too.
depends on like what you're doing to that oatmeal. How are you flavoring it?
Maple and brown sugar.
That's the best.
And you put some bananas, maybe even some nuts.
That sounds
Some
amazing.
strawberries in there.
But if you just have plain ass oatmeal,
you never go to like First Watch, get steel cut oats
no, I get pancakes.
at First Watch. But today is Natalie's funeral, is what she says to Callie. And by the way, have you been smoking the chronic? Mom, nobody calls it chronic, but also I don't know what you're talking about.
That's real chuggy, Mom.
Yes, that's right.
It really is.
It is. There you go, Andy.
Good job, Andy.
You're learning.
You're getting it.
We cut to Misty, who is meditating, which I just started doing to these like audio tape type things. I find that really funny, like literally 3 days ago.
You were one with Christina Ricci.
I always try to be. And Walter is wearing my jacket because I have that jacket. It's a Cotopaxi under jacket, and it's literally that one. And I feel like he's trying to be like me, and it's fine. But he wants to go solve a new murder, I think, on the like murder message boards. He knows that she's not on there anymore. And he also reminds her about the memorial. And then he leaves a key on her dresser, talks about how Natalie's the Myers-Briggs type, because they've profiled her and stuff. It's for Nat's storage, but I'll handle it if you want. So he's baiting her out of her grief into being more like herself, and he's very satisfied with his plan working, I think, because he smiles as he's leaving because she's like, I'll handle it. He's like, we need to clear out her storage. It could be evidence or just sentimental things. Either way, And then we go to the memorial. Everybody kind of rolls their eyes when Natalie's mom shuffles up there with her
Jesus
oxygen tank.
Christ.
Yeah. And then Jeff's like, you're in a church.
She does the half-hearted symbol of Christ.
Fucking Christ.
Then they drink at the.
Did you see the photo that they're looking at the memorial invitation and Nat's photos there, but then when you see the photo that's like up there with the mom, it's a photo of the mom and like little Nat's like in the corner of the photo.
Yeah.
They drink at the bar after, and they're all giving themselves negative eulogies. Van, who is, if you recall, dying of terminal cancer very soon, trying to talk them out of that bad attitude. I don't know if this is new information. I think it is that in the interim, Taissa has impeached herself. So she's no longer going to be a senator. And they all talk shit about Misty. Oh, she's probably got the table bugged right now listening to all of this, you know?
And then there's a pause where Shauna like looks out into the distance. And I was like, is that a play on Misty is listening in? Or like it seemed more serious than
I think
jokey.
it was like a supernatural thing. Like somebody's watching them because it kind of went to their POV and it was like
Yeah, like this is cut to a wide with the bar in the foreground, but yeah, there's no one obviously there.
I like to think Shauna looks over and it's literally you the way that I just looked at you and you're doing that.
That's what I do at the bar. That's how I pick up chicks. It hasn't worked yet, but it's just because they're all bitches.
You're picking up
Keep trying, man.
Yeah, Misty. I don't even go to bars. Misty's in Nat's storage container. She's looking through some different things, and she finds a jacket.
No.
Don't write in. This is Natalie's jacket.
This is Natalie's jacket.
Back in the past. Back in time.
Back in time.
Come on, Steve. It's your job. You literally said that every time.
For Lost.
Was it for last?
Yeah.
It all combines
Same
together.
kind of thing.
Yeah, it goes together.
You're right. It would be too much on this one because it happens a lot. Shauna prepares food and the winners are reclining. Mostly Mari that's making a big meal out of this.
Mari is a stinker.
Yeah, Mari sucks.
They're sunbathing. And Shauna says, I can't believe we didn't eat that bitch first. She fully goes there.
But I love how Melissa is just like, I agree.
Doesn't she say, yeah, I heard she chipped a tooth on her vibrator?
Yeah.
That's how dumb she
And
is.
then Shauna was like, wait, you actually have a personality?
That's my favorite meta joke of the whole episode. Just because, like,
Now she has lines. And
now
she's
she
like,
has lines. And like, oh, wait, now you're a part of the story?
Yeah.
what?
But I'm also like, there was a tender moment where I forget who came over and was trying to.
I think Akila's trying to make
Tequila. She
like a-
brings the hat for the ceremony for her to
Midsommar
wear.
hat.
Because you're the mother. And she's like, get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean?
And Melissa steps on it. And I feel like there's almost like this,
They've got a kinship now.
an acknowledgement.
What if Hilary Swank is Melissa and she gets to hang out with Shauna again?
Maybe.
Because Shauna's kind of going full crazy in the present timeline.
A little bit.
And maybe she'll be like smoking weed and killing people with her friend Melissa again.
That'd be
Maybe.
dope.
I could see that.
That's my new theory. I'm sticking to it, baby.
Maybe.
Because I feel like Mari with Shauna with that attitude does not make it out of this forest.
Yeah.
And I also feel like we would have met Mari, or like Shauna would have alluded to Mari as an adult already, maybe.
Well, they play coy with the adults, and it's like, oh, Van's still alive, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever it's convenient for them to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It'd be really funny to have the whole thing from season 2 with Lottie, and they're like, we're all here. This is great. And then we didn't invite Melissa though.
Yeah, exactly.
That pill doesn't have a personality.
You can't just keep saying that.
But here's Hilary Swank.
Yeah.
They have like a
We'll accept that.
cult leader and sergeant meeting that Misty really wants to be a part of, at least just to take the minutes, and they shit on her and push her out of there. But it's Jen as the hunter, Natalie as the current May Queen. It's Taissa as the lesbian builder. She runs that crew. I'm trying to think about like what their roles are in this like committee.
Yeah.
Committee.
And then Van's there as well. But that's like the core four,
Well,
I
Van's
guess.
obviously the party planner.
That's right. That's
Obviously.
that's
Party
fair.
and
The
events.
social chair.
Yeah.
Yeah, Misty's not welcome there though.
I would say Nat is like president, Ty, VP, Van, secretary, and then
VP's girlfriend.
Exactly.
And then Jen,
Jen.
Jen is
the hunter.
treasurer.
Yeah,
I don't know.
the Secretary of Defense.
Yeah.
But there's
FBI.
there's an important little thing here because they're all scared of Coach because he burnt down the house. And so he disappeared. And Nat's like, no, guys, he's dead. Like, I looked for him. He's dead. We don't have to worry about him coming up. And
But he's been in Javi's hole.
yeah, he's been in Javi's hole this whole time.
But Nat is lying because she knows that he's alive. Right?
That's what I assumed. Yeah, because
Does she?
her and Coach Ben have like a little bit of a
kinship.
friendship, kinship. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, well, how do we know that she knows he's alive?
Because I think he.
Or is that what you're just assuming?
That's what I'm assuming, because I think also Javi was the one who was going to show Nat the hidey hole as well.
Yeah.
And that's probably how he found it.
Little
I can't quite remember, but there was a connection between Javi's hole, Nat, and the coach.
So the coach has a conversation with Nat, and where he's like, basically like, you're not like these girls. Javi was showing me a place, and I can show you
That's right.
as well.
Yeah.
And then
That's when she says, I let Javi die in place of me. I'm not as cool as you think.
yeah. And then when he sees the girls all like bowing and curtsying to Natalie, he's like, oh, she's one of them now too. And that's how he has his turn to then set the place on fire.
I think it's possible that she doesn't know where Javi's tree is because they never found
he never
Javi
showed
throughout
it
all
to
that time. He
Yeah.
never showed her that and she's not like a fucking tracker from the Marines or something. She's just a kid who hunted with her abusive father sometimes. So I think it's possible that she just didn't find him because he's in that tree. Now, when he started showing all his traps and stuff later, I'm like, okay, they weren't looking very hard. Like there's evidence
That's
that
what
someone
I-
is out there for sure. So that's fair.
Yeah.
But I don't think I don't know. I'm not convinced Natalie actually knows Coach is there, but I like the idea that she's just protecting him.
Yeah, I think there's maybe like a little bit of like she's just trying to brush it over, like to give him a chance.
Yeah.
But I don't think she, I guess, really knows.
But also at the same time, come on, guys. Let him be. Let the poor man be.
He literally has
Right.
no fucking. He has one
He's
leg.
out there limping around doing his best. I like that the coach has to be dead. Then it cuts to Coach is not dead.
Yeah.
I don't know where he learned these trapping skills. YouTube's not around yet. Definitely doesn't have
Well,
service out
he
there.
found
if it did.
another box full of
He saw it on
how-tos.
Yeah. He's got he's been reading a lot of Gary Paulson novels. He's like, fuck it, I'm going to try it.
Been on AOL Instant Messenger, a lot of chat boards, people
Sure.
explaining it to him.
Because he's like doing the whole setting the bait and all that stuff, but it's not working out for him. All the traps are empty. He's a hungry boy. Thaisa thinks that the Shauna Mari enmity is a problem, and Nat tries to brush it off like, hey, it's just girls being girls. It's
Girl
just
shit.
Dumb girl
everything
shit.
is life and death out of here. Remember what happened to Jackie?
That one girl,
If you forget,
Yeah,
she froze to death
She fell asleep
we
outside.
ate her.
from girls arguing, and then we ate her. Yeah.
She got slow cooked. It was
And I mean, that was delicious.
Yeah,
Oh,
as a resident barbecue guy, Andy, like,
overnight barbecue, man.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, dude. If you're doing a brisket, that's 16 hours easy. You got to do it low and slow.
They did it. Low and slow. That was probably pungent when they woke up.
Which I will say, they are pushing Shauna to be like pretty chipper for the things that she's gone through. I mean, she lost her kid, like her baby. And then like the whole Jackie narrative has been around for a minute. I mean, you can probably get over that. But like the baby thing, I'm like, guys, give her some space, especially like Mari as well.
Yeah,
Mari's just a bitch
let's put
too.
a crown on your head to
Yeah.
remind you that you are the
Yeah.
mother
Just let Shauna
of the dead child.
Child.
be. I mean, they are teenagers, so what do they know? But true.
Yeah, the coach is still traipsing around. He finds a wooden door, a little cachet, and it's got multiple giant cases in it filled with rations and tools and flashlights and MREs and protein bars.
This was lucky.
Yeah.
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 It's a little too lucky. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Somebody went back in time and put that there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a weird place to put some stuff. You're making fun of me.
No, I mean,
Shows
I
be
just,
doing this.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Adam Brody might show up out of nowhere.
This is one of those things where I was kind of like, is this supposed to be there? I don't quite remember. Like, I for a second thought, like, do we know?
Oh, that's
Who
their
put that
stuff.
there? That's
That they,
theirs.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, this is all
Yeah.
new. Somebody put that there.
Well, we also
in the
don't know how
Canadian
s-
wilderness.
We also don't know how spaced out that space is from where the cabin was. So, like, we really have no knowledge of this location at all. So,
Well, it can't be too far from their campsite.
I guess.
Yeah, because he got one leg. Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, because he caught he caught Mari.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I took that way differently. Can't be too far.
But also that.
He had to hobble there.
Yeah. Back in the present, the girls at school mock the Yellowjackets in general, and we get that classic Callie is nearby, but with the locker. Like, how many times have they done the locker door blocking the person they're talking about in a high school scene?
Oh, yeah.
Like every high school scene.
Very tropey. And that's never going to happen. Like, oh, there's Callie. We should
Yeah.
probably not say this. Like, I've never been hidden by. My lockers at our high school were so tiny
Oh, yeah, dude.
that would never work. You'd have to be like a fucking Looney Tune.
Leaning into
But hey, let's get Kyle drunk and ask if Callie's into freaky shit. Why would Kyle know?
because they used to hook up.
Oh, that's
That was her
okay.
boyfriend.
Yeah, I guess so.
I gave them chocolate chip pancakes after the dirty.
That's right.
I'm a cool mom.
That's right. But Callie was listening. Thaisa is arguing with Simone on the phone about Sammy. Apparently, visitation rights and stuff are not settled yet. But I'm glad Simone is out of critical condition.
Yeah, she ended the season in a bad place. And so it's good to see that she's okay.
Van,
and she's got Ty out of her life. I think that was a good, smart choice on her part.
Yeah, after she found the dog head and heart in the little
that was
shrine.
crazy.
It was upsetting to her.
What was that dog's name was what? Biscuit or something?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, and we were so upset that it was dead. And then they got a new dog named, what, Steve? We're like, leave Steve alone.
I can't remember the dogs' names.
Van didn't sign any of the paperwork that Thaisa put out for her except for the do not resuscitate order. So if I flatline, you guys can go to lunch. Because she's only got a couple of months to live. And I guess she's living at Thaisa's house. And Thaisa's like, well, we should fuck more, don't you think? And Van's really offended by that. We get some more like backstory about what happened. To further her political career, she separated herself from Van. It was a very selfish move. And then you end up marrying a woman anyway. There's, Yeah. And I like how Thaisa realizes the truth of all that and that Van has a very good reason to be upset. There's not like a big falling out or anything. She's like, you want to just go to dinner then? Like I just told you to fuck off and go fuck yourself. And now you're asking me out. So I thought that was cool because I didn't want like a 2-episode, like them arguing when Thaisa is clearly the one at fault. But Callie is, I thought, so that's not her like tracking someone's location. That's just the Swift Eats app, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Randy's doing Swift Eats. Randy cracked me up because he's like, oh, they're still processing my application at NASA because she gives him shit about working for Swift Eats.
Yeah.
Where the fuck else would I work? I'm Randy.
I love he says, Tammy took me back. She said I had to get a job. It's just a running joke for him that like his wife keeps taking him back. It's fucking fire.
Yeah.
And she ordered a bunch of raw meats, I guess. He's like, weird order. I took a peek. By the way, don't peek, Randy. You're bad at this job too. Meanwhile, Shauna is going through Callie's room, and I loved this. Like she's looking for the weed that she surmised earlier. She finds 2 pre-rolled doobies, weird move, and then just smokes one, which is great. But the principal calls in the middle of her choking on that chronic.
They don't call that anymore.
She had to back up off of it and set her cup down, and realized that something happened at school.
Mm-hmm.
Kelly did what? That's the worst call to get when you're balls deep in a doob.
Well, at first I thought it was going to be Randy calling Shauna being like, yo, guess what your daughter
I thought it was Randy too.
Nah, Randy's a real one.
Yeah.
I guess that's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
We already know he's no snitch.
Yeah.
At least about things he doesn't know anything about. Mm-hmm. Back in the past, Travis is tripping. He's crushing up some shrooms. I feel everything and nothing.
Nothing. Or did you know that everything and nothing are both filled with things?
That's a total on shrooms at 17.
Filled with babes.
Yeah. Right? And Lottie tries to therapize him, says it's okay to be angry about Javi and your dad.
Oh, Javi.
Javi, no.
I'd forgotten about him because of the babes. But he brought him back to the forefront.
What about Shauna? Grieving's not a competition.
I'm winning.
And she says that Shauna has rebuffed her therapy efforts. Just because you need a therapist doesn't mean you are one, quote unquote, which is actually a pretty good burn. Because that's true. Like just because you've been in therapy your whole life doesn't mean you could be a therapist.
Yeah.
Stop doing this, Lottie. I've had multiple shrinks, plural. And then he starts tripping, like the shrooms turn on him, which will happen. And he hears the trees crying and then screaming. And he's like, did you hear that? No, I'm not tripping. Oh, you will. You'll hear it if you take the shrooms.
You will.
Yeah, what's that from?
I don't know. As soon as I said it, I was like, that's a thing.
It is a thing. And then we cut to the coach who's taking the stuff out and turns his little hidey hole into a trap.
Ooh, a trap.
I don't know where he got a tarp. Maybe it was in one of the suitcases.
Had to have been.
But he's like, nice. I put a little protein bar down just to trick him.
I think the tarp was over the survival kit, like when he peels the tarp off and the kit's underneath.
What about when he shoved that whole Cliff Bar in his mouth?
That was unsettling.
I didn't like it.
I didn't like watching that.
I've never gone without food for days, but it's like that's inefficient. You can't even chew it now. Like you're getting it into your body less soon because you're doing, you know what I mean? Like
But that's the first like flavored thing because they ain't got seasonings out there.
he didn't have any Jackie. Yeah, he hasn't had anything good in a while.
Sure.
It was a peanut butter bar too. You know what I mean? Peanut butter protein bar. I would have done the same.
You
think?
need to wash
Yeah.
that down with some water.
Yeah.
That would be so funny. You just
Very
choke, he
dry.
chokes to death.
Yeah. The really
Put
sad
away.
ending to that character. I love the idea of because he gets up and he throws a little bit of the peanut butter bar
Peanut butter ball.
on the tarp, and he's like, "Come and get it, Bambi," because this is how he's going to trap his food, right?
Yeah.
I just like to, because we know what happens at the end of the episode. I like to think that Mari's like, "Oh, sweet, is that a peanut butter bar?" Oh hell yeah, I fucking love those.
That's my favorite flavor.
But what I was gonna say is, so he like the last shot is him like crutching away with the like box attached to his
Tied to him?
crutch. But I noticed that there was another box that he left.
There's 3 boxes.
I assume he like
Went back.
he
And
like
do a bunch of trips.
trailered those somewhere else.
Back to his little den that
Little den.
Javi was in. We can't just keep calling it the Javi hole.
Oh,
So-
I think we can. I don't think there's
But-
anything stopping us.
So there's
He's
like-
dead. What's he gonna get upset?
There's these 3 big boxes. We only see inside one of them, which is like food rations and tools and stuff like that. Can we assume that there's also guns in the other ones?
I don't know. I wasn't going to.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
I think there's just more snacks.
We're snacky.
Yeah, more
Okay.
bars. It'd be funny if there was other
Cheetos.
things though, like Game Boys and batteries. He's just got.
A satellite phone.
He's just having. He just leaves. That would be the best outcome for Coach. I mean, they get
He's
found
like
somehow.
the rest of them are dead.
Yeah, that's what I would say. But back in the present, Callie assaulted a girl with guts, right? And I love that Shauna is so high that Jeff is unable to like reach her regarding the emotional stakes of this. She's fine.
she just keeps
She talks
eating.
about going
She's
vegan.
like, he's
Yeah.
like, you're hungry?
Oh, assault, is that what they're calling it? She went to get a boba. She'll be back in an hour, right? And Jeff's like, feels so gaslit. Like, what the fuck are we doing right now?
We don't close these cabinets anymore. We live in a barn.
And then he's like, look, she witnessed the death of one of your friends, them shooting people with guns. Like
She shot one of them?
She's the one that shot him. Like she knows that I'm a blackmailer. You're a murderer. This isn't typical trauma. Or, she might be fucked up, right? And then he gets up into the spice and he smells the chronic. Did you smoke some chronic? Which is a really good quick callback. I loved it so much. Thais and Van are getting fancy. They're eating some foie gras.
With cotton candy.
Have any of you eaten foie gras?
Foie gras.
No.
Isn't that like duck fat?
Oh. It didn't look good. Van's not a fan. Thais is pretending to like it. And then Thais is like, you know what? Why don't we just go get a pizza and some fudge ripple and get up on the roof? And Van's like, now the fuck we're talking. Okay.
Now we're talking.
And then she wants to dine and dash. And Van's like, you can't do that. And she's like, I'm a disgraced senator in New Jersey. I can do anything I want, which I don't get the reference there, but I'm sure it's something to do.
Well, I
with-
think if you're a disgraced senator, that's pretty bad. If you're a disgraced senator in New Jersey, that's doubly bad.
I don't get
Extra
it.
bad.
So you can do whatever you want
Is
at
that
that
what
point.
Snooki is?
Snooki's in New Jersey.
A disgraced
Or
senator
the-
from New Jersey.
The situation?
Oh, the situation's probably a senator the way this country's going.
For real.
So they run, they dine and dash. And I wrote, the waiter almost fucking dies. Oh, wait, maybe he does die. This show is ridiculous. And I know the thing is that like the spirit kind of haunts them. And that's why these absurd things happen. It's kind of like Final Destination happens around them. But also like, we can't just have a moment. Like I was enjoying them just doing silly things because Van's going to die. And we don't have to have the waiter just have a heart attack and make it like this awful thing that they dine and dash.
See, I was thinking like, oh, they're building that up so that way like Ty gets in trouble for like dining and dashing because
Right, like
then,
this is gonna
because
be
then that's-
press, right?
Yeah, that's gonna be can't they like be held accountable for like that waiter like having a heart attack and ultimately dying?
I don't think so. I don't think legally like she would get a manslaughter case or anything, but
I
Yeah.
would think it'd be the bus driver.
Manslaughter by proxy. I
It
don't
wouldn't
know.
be a good look either way for this
no.
disgraced former senator.
Well, I think like the tragic irony of like they don't know that they just killed a guy accidentally, and like and this is what I was talking about, that self-aware needle drop, the Tiffany song, and then to end it with that, and then straight into Bush. So it's like back-to-back needle drops.
Because they're lesbians?
Yeah.
A little on the nose?
But
because they kissed a bush?
no, I love the idea of that they're in their headcanon, they're still having their fun little date moment, and it's like you just killed a guy.
Yeah.
And like not knowing about that is fucking fire.
And then Slenderman's just watching jerking off while they kiss.
That's hot.
I'm over here. Keep doing it.
You let me know, I can tag in. I don't know why he's Andre the Giant.
I like the two different voices that you guys came up with.
I think it sounds like this.
I think he also sounds like that.
I'm over here just watching you from the back of the alley.
What?
I'm Andre the Giant.
You should have paid your bill.
Anybody want a peanut?
I thought I was thinking about the time Andy and I dined. I don't know if I've ever told this story on the show.
No, don't do it.
Andy and I dined and we dined and dashed at Hooters.
Oh my God.
We were kids. We
Can
were
I stand up and applaud the both of you?
It gets worse.
Okay.
Please don't.
We were 18.
We had like 30 friends there.
We were 18 years old. We were like on a lot of drugs, I'm sure, but we were at this giant table of friends. It was like 20 or so of us. And so Andy and I are like, let's get out of here. So we dine and dash, which obviously it doesn't work if you are at like a big group gathering. It just makes your friends pay for your food.
Yeah.
Hey, where'd they go? Oh, here's their check. You know? And so we were banned from this guy's house for like 6 months because he was so mad about us leaving him with the bill.
Yep.
We just kind of, and like all of our friends were still there. It was such a dick move.
You fucking idiots.
Like, oh, we got him. Oh, sorry guys, we forgot. We didn't realize you were just gonna get our
were
check.
gonna come
Trying
back, we
to
swear.
Irish goodbye and we just forgot.
Yeah, it was funny.
You guys were supposed to come with us.
We had money and stuff. We were just drunk and high, like kind of like a Thaisa situation.
No.
Way less wealthy though.
I only dined and dash once, and it was more of a. I had been waiting an hour for the check, and they hadn't come, so I'm like, "Fuck this!" and I just left. At a Steak and Shake.
Oh,
Dang.
I feel like if there's a place to do it,
Oh yeah.
Steak and Shake. Was
you
it the
ever
one
dine
in
and
Florence?
dashed? What's your dine and dash story?
I've never dined and dashed.
That's a good way to be.
No.
Yet.
We have regrets.
I almost drove away from White Castle yesterday after paying without getting my food.
The reverse.
What's the opposite of a dine and dash?
Yeah, I was checking my phone and I just like gave my credit card and gave it back, and then I drove off like, all right, wait a second. I had to throw it in reverse. So yeah, it was the opposite. But anyway, the waiter fucking dies, and Slender Man's like, must be your skin that I'm sinking in. It must be for real, 'cause now I can feel everything's gone white. Everything's gray. Now you're here. Now you're away. Don't let the days go by.
That was beautiful.
Glycerine.
Bless our ram.
Could have been
Bless our ram.
easy. Anyway, that's a good song. Love that shit.
It is a good song.
Anywhoozle, back in the past, they're at the solstice dinner. The losers are serving, but the service is slow here. Mari's got to just fucking grind everything in. And Shauna spits in her fucking soup. Right in her face.
Oh, it's disgusting
It's
too.
so.
It's
oh
a
my God.
loogie.
She had
She
been
hasn't
like,
brushed her teeth in like a year. You know what I mean?
She
she'd been
hopped
like,
to it in that fucker.
Oh, she knocked to it in it.
Ugh.
she was like generating that spit
Oh.
for like a half hour leading
Yeah,
up to
yeah,
that
yeah.
moment.
That was a loogie, a chuggy loogie.
I just thought I was like, what the fuck?
Honestly, the show just kind of goes too far with everything, and it's awesome, but a little, like for instance,
I think it's warranted. I'll be the first to say.
okay, but then she rubs her face in it and says, "I told you to eat it, bitch."
I think it's iconic. I think Mari should have gotten the shit beat out of her way before this.
I'm with Madison. I was like doing like, get her.
Get her.
her.
Drag her. Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, I feel like this whole series, Shauna has kind of been the villain. And like everything that she does is fucking evil, past and present. Like it's fucking crazy.
Especially present Shauna. Yeah.
Yeah.
She murdered one innocent guy. Relax.
Who among us hasn't done that?
At least she didn't dine and dash.
That's right.
That's true.
She pays for her shit.
At a Hooters.
Natalie puts them both on house arrest, TP arrest. I won't see your fucking faces for a week. Back in the present.
But Mari's like, hey, that's not fair.
Fuck
She
this.
attacked me. I'm leaving. And so Mari runs off, and Nat's like, let her go.
Just let her go.
Don't let her ruin the rest of the night.
Eat your soup, guys. Yours doesn't have spit in it. Back in the present, Misty is at a bar, a local knife and gun club. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And she almost orders an espresso martini.
But she's wearing the jacket.
Yes.
She's like, hold on.
Wait a second.
Wait a minute.
I don't want to be a douche. Let me get a shot of whiskey.
What would Nat order?
Is that what she gets? A shot of whiskey?
Yeah, neat.
Neat.
And then she gags on the shot and then starts dropping shot after shot. Here's Nat's voice in her head.
I just love how she keeps like looking over at the guy at the bar and he's like shaking his head like,
Fuck
yeah.
Fuck yeah.
The older guy?
Yeah.
Who's got the jersey head?
Yeah.
He's just like, damn, this girl's awesome.
That's how you do it. You throw them back.
The
I like
fucking
that.
the writing here though, she's like, well, I'm not here to do my taxes. I mean, you can do your taxes early, but not that early. Am I right?
Yeah. Because she's drinking early, I assume.
She's the best.
But a guy comes up and he's like, hey, I like your jacket. She's dropping shots.
Elijah 2s.
Yeah.
I thought this guy looked very similar to Elijah Wood. I'm like, Elijah 2? What are you doing up here?
And finally, the bartender cuts her off. Like, hey, you just took 7 straight shots.
You took 7 shots in 30 seconds. I'm cutting you off.
And then Natalie's voice gets in her head. Don't take shit from anybody, right? She's and I did not see where this was going. I thought she was going to yell at the bartender. So she saunters over to the nice guy and you got a problem with my jacket? He's like, what?
You said you like my jacket. You got a problem with it?
I've lit dicks on fire.
What?
Don't fuck with me.
And she throws beer on his dick and then tries to throw a candle at him, but it's not even lit. Anybody got a lighter?
That's going to be my threat from now on. I've lit dicks on fire.
I'd crotch burns, okay? Crotch your burn right now. Shauna is helping Callie study now that she's suspended. They're talking about the Teapot Dome. Steve, I'm curious, as our resident presidential history guy, are you familiar with the Teapot Dome scandal?
Oh, pretty familiar. It's
Really?
probably one of the biggest examples of corruption by the president in our history until last week.
Even more than the whole Watergate thing?
Probably. Watergate is pretty corrupt.
Pretty.
Yeah, pretty corrupt. But the corruption in Watergate is also like very tied to like, I didn't do it. And then it's like, here are tapes. He did it.
Yeah.
Whereas the Teapot Dome is much more about special interests outside the government paying government officials to get inside access and stuff like that.
I'm not familiar with this Teapot Dome.
I don't know what the
Either.
fuck we're talking about.
President Warren G. Harding, my guys.
Honestly,
Was he
didn't
a
know that was a
president?
So
president.
Shauna was correct. Yeah, I'm with you. Fuck that guy. So Shauna was correct because Callie's like, I don't think that's the answer. And because she does say Warren Harding.
Yeah, Warren Harding is.
So she was
the president.
So what is it, man? Like, is it real? Like the teapot fell off the roof?
I see
Yeah, it's,
imagery of oil. Was it something to do with oil?
So it was like there was
scandal.
a Navy Petroleum Reserve at Teapot Dome, which is a place in Wyoming.
Oh, it's a place.
Yeah, so it's basically like oil companies trying to get low rates without competitive bidding, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And these were something that they were working with under Secretary Albert Bacon Fall, who was the Interior Secretary.
Did you just pull that from your brain, or do you have it pulled up?
I have it pulled up.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say that's a
before
great
the
pull.
Watergate scandal, Teapot Dome was regarded as the greatest and most sensational scandal in the history of American politics.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I was gonna be very impressed if you just pulled Albert Bacon Fall from your brain.
Who doesn't know my guy?
My God.
Mr. Bacon
ABF,
Fall.
baby.
ABF.
Interesting.
Wow.
Department of the Interior. Anyway, I don't know anything about
We
this
educate
shit.
on this show.
Callie, I'm with you. I don't know shit about this, but Dad's at the gym. He's mad. And I love this bit, and it's a little too much, but I'm here for it because she's like, Mom, that's not like a crazy cult thing. They were picking on me and I was just throwing guts on them. Oh, is that all it was?
Yeah, you ever seen Carrie?
Yeah, you want to see it on video? I got a video of it. Yeah.
I wanna
And then
see
she
that.
like loves it. And she's like, let me watch that again. And it's a little too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like way too bad of a mom at this point, but like, I'm kind of here for it. Like, whatever.
The video was great, though. I love how she's like, hey, like she walks up.
My
with
mom packed my lunch.
You brown bagging it today? Yeah, my mom packed my lunch and just spills the guts all over the table.
Yeah.
And to your point about vibes and how they kind of reflect past and present, often try to reflect one another. You've got Mari bullying Shauna essentially.
Oh, that's true.
And then Shauna's daughter being bullied and handling it like Shauna would have. And therefore she's like, oh, nice. Let me watch that again.
Hell yeah, girl.
You should have spit on her and made her rub her face in it.
Yeah.
That's a good pull.
And then ate her. And
What?
Callie's like, yeah. So I think that's what they're doing here. I'm just now realizing.
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
Drunk Misty. It's interesting how they did the iPhone aspect ratio as a transition to the scene with
love that.
Misty.
It was like
Yeah,
a
it's
9, isn't it 9:16, and then
Yeah.
it widens to 16:9.
And-
They also do a lot of split screen. Excuse me, a lot. I think there's been like
They did. Yeah.
2 or 3 moments throughout this episode where they do a split screen.
They did it in the chase in the beginning.
It was
Yeah.
directed by Brian De Palma.
Yeah, isn't it his directorial debut?
Yeah.
I was kind of
He's
like,
new.
BD.
interesting.
PDP?
Yeah.
That's how you do that?
I don't know. I didn't really. This I understood, but the split screens I've been kind of like, I don't really think that was
The
necessary.
split screens is it's weird. Split screening, that type of editing style is very popular at the moment. More for like social media type
Sure.
videos and stuff. It's like it's all over the place now. So it's kind of taken aback to see it in an actual like TV show like this.
But I guess with something that's so like, I don't know, when you notice an edit like that, it almost kind of like, okay,
Takes you out of it.
Yeah, that's kind of what it did. I was like, because it only happened a couple of times in this episode, and I was like, okay, that was a choice, but did the choice actually do anything for that scene? I just feel like it was really random for me personally.
Yeah, I think I would agree with you on the split screen. It's a little interesting of a choice, but I did love the aspect ratio transition here.
I
Was
did
great
like
because
this.
if you do the phone aspect ratio change,
How
that
do you
makes
get out
sense.
of it?
How do you
Yeah.
get out of it, and the way they did, but also like the headspace that Misty's in, walking on the street. Like I think that was really expertly done.
Yeah, I like that.
I like it. Listening to you talk about it.
Well, thank you, buddy.
Initially, I was like, for what? But you're talking about it as a getting out of it editing trick, a mystery to solve, like that. Yeah, Walter pulls up trying to pick her up, and she's like, I'm going to crotch your burn. She's drunk, and she can't find her phone, though. She's going to call her friend. I'm going to call my friends right now. And he's like, look, the reason I found you is because that establishment that you besmirched had a bartender who was actually a good Samaritan. And instead of calling the cops for your felony assault, he went through your phone and your saved contacts, and no one answered. That's the reason I'm here, is no one answered until he got to W.
It's bad.
Oh, it was devastating, bro. And then she breaks down crying, and she's like, this is my best friend. And Natalie
It's
fucking
all
hated
my
her, but it was her
fault.
best friend.
Yeah. It's such a twisted thing. You feel so bad for her.
Yeah,
in
Misty
that
sucks.
moment.
She's the
Misty-
cause of everything.
Yeah.
But also, like,
She's
Christina
perfect.
Ricci,
Yeah.
you're like, dang, somebody take care of her.
Dang, girl.
Stop being mean.
Do you get? I'm just going to pose this because I don't know either way. But do you think Walter's being 100% real? Like,
We've talked about this all through season.
everybody.
He better not be a mole or an evil plant.
All season 2, we were like, is he on the level? But he always shows up.
I mean, he murdered a cop at the end of season 2. So
I
he
like the
fucking-
idea that he's just fucking crazy. He matches her freak and just let them do their thing.
Yeah.
If he's like actually some kind of antagonistic force, I'll be upset.
Agreed.
I could go either way, honestly. Like I'm not like super committed to him just being like kooky and crazy. But I'm also not like, if that's the route that he takes, that's fine with me. I have no
Well,
No
I'm
opinion about
even
it.
throwing the idea that maybe he's saying like, oh, no one answered the phone except me, as just a way to get back in with her.
oh.
Not necessarily like
Yeah,
he's
I
trying
can
to
see
use
that.
her. He's just trying to like, hey, he's trying to isolate her from her friends in this instance just so she can get closer to her.
That sounds
I didn't read that at
That
all.
sounds like a very
I
toxic
don't
thing.
know if that's what it is, but Walter do be doing some shady shit from time to time.
Yeah.
We really don't know.
Like a murderer.
We don't know
And we
much
don't-
about him.
But yeah, we don't know anything about him other than he's rich as fuck.
Yeah, he's
he's
independently
into-
wealthy and really into solving crimes and committing them.
Yeah. Yep.
It's like a Robin without a Batman. You know?
He's get him into the circus.
Like Batman died on day 2 and he inherited everything, and now he's just like, oh, I guess I murder people or something. Is that what he was doing?
There's a cave down here.
They call this Javi's hole. I don't get it. Callie is making a sundae, and someone is watching her. Again, they get this like POV. Who is that? Now, it could just be the
Hillary Swank.
delivery guy.
What's the voice?
Could be Swanky.
Hillary.
What was the voice you used?
I don't actually remember the voice.
I'm Hillary Swank.
My Sunday looks good.
Baby.
I was kind of a throwback to it. I was trying. Thank you. Yeah, it's she gets a mystery package. It's got the little symbol on it. It's addressed to Shauna, and she's like, really tempted to see what's in there, but then Jeff scares her. She scares Jeff. I don't know how did he get a jump scare?
Well, I think Hallie is like, she's getting a midnight snack. So it's like, it's alluded that she's in there at like 2 or 3 in the morning, and like Jeff is going to investigate. And I'm sure that's they just scared each other.
Oh, because he's like, who's down here?
Yeah.
Someone broke in.
Yeah.
I heard someone outside going, Miller.
I did like his dad reaction though. It's a really good dad line. It's suspension, not a fucking vacation. Get upstairs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't be down here eating.
This is my sports center time. Leave me
Clearly
alone.
been smoking chronic and you're getting ice cream right now, and that's you're having way too much fun. Back in the past, the girls have their ceremony at the graves. We call on Javi to protect us and Jackie to oversee us and the child. And Shauna backs up. Baby. Shauna leaves at the mention of the child. And then there's like screeching in the distance and is that what you heard, Travis? Yeah.
It sounds like the monster from Lost.
Yeah. That's what I heard the tree doing.
Oh, it's going out there. It was all like, it's the black smoke monster, Javi.
Yeah.
I'm Travis. Why did you call me Javi?
And then we get a sick ass song that Andy and I used to bump to a lot when we were down and dashing from Hooters. And Coach has caught an animal, but it's Maury.
He caught an animal, all right.
And he's like, nice.
Was that his reaction? Like, oh, good. I'm going to.
I don't know, he looked really satisfied for some
Yeah.
reason. Like he's got some kind of.
Yeah, here's well, at first it sounds like it could be a deer or
Yeah.
something, but then, when he goes up, I don't know.
But she starts screaming for
hyped
help.
about it.
She does. He needs to shut her up
We
quick.
get, at first
Yeah.
I was
Hit her with a stick.
afraid, I was petrified.
But also, she's grabbing her leg, so obviously, like, she's injured in some kind. But I feel like
She fell in the pit.
Yeah, if he was to go in there, I feel like it would be a pretty even fight because he doesn't have a leg.
Oh, no, I get it. Yeah. Because he doesn't have a leg.
Well, he's
have a
got
leg.
crutches. He's got
But
that
she's
extra
stuck in the
balance.
pit, and he's still a stronger man than her.
Sure.
He could just like
I am curious.
throw shit at her.
Plus,
I'm
now
curious-
they're both one-legged. It looks like she twisted her ankle.
But I'm curious how the dynamic will progress from here because, like, obviously he morally is like, I'm not going to eat people, but also he doesn't want the others to like know where he is. So it's like, is he left with this moral dilemma of like, oh, do I kill Murray to protect
interesting.
myself, or do I, what's going to be the
I bet he'll
relationship
be nice
here?
to her and he'll have a little friend. He's like, I
Maybe.
got protein bars.
Maybe
I'll pay you in protein bars if you be my
you shut
mole.
the fuck up.
Ooh.
Oh,
I didn't even think about her going back as his mole. Interesting.
But
Well,
why?
everyone listening to this knows the answer. And we're just like,
I know.
But why though? Why would he need a mole?
He
for-
likes that goss.
he needs the tea.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mari's like, yeah.
Are Van and
Shauna's
Ty still
been-
together?
Yeah.
And then they'll catch her with a protein bar wrapper and make her
They'll be like,
snitch on
why
him.
does your breath smell like peanut butter?
Yeah, what's
bitch?
going on? Yeah, bitch.
Oh, Shauna's like getting up.
No,
Why does it smell like that?
Mari
Whore.
spits in her face and Shauna licks it and it's like, peanut butter? What?
I said, eat it, bitch.
I think you guys are onto something.
We're on to something.
Something.
That's for
You
sure.
say enough shit.
I
some
can't
of
wait
it's
to,
gonna stick.
Yeah,
I
something's
can't wait to
gonna stick,
start up
man.
episode 2 and it's like, and he killed her.
He pulled out an AK-47 and
Yeah, the gun from his other suitcase.
yeah. And the others were like, what is that noise? The trees are screaming. No, it was just a gun.
I like how in Madison's mind he's got like the fucking headband like Rambo and a bunch of machine guns and he's crutching up. Like,
You got Murray down there.
say hello to my little friend. Protein bar. Yeah, that's the end of the fucking episode, by the way.
Oh, we did it.
Now
That's
it's
it.
time for our choice cuts, our top 3 favorite moments of the episode. But first, a break to hear from one of our sponsors.
Hello, Stream Fiends. It is the month of February. That's right. I really enunciate the R in February. It's a weird quirk of mine. No apologies will be given, but a huge shout of thanks and gratitude will be given to all of our patrons here at Streaming Things. But I want to give a special shout out to our super patrons for the month of February. So thank you to Alex, Aubrey Carell, Daniel Pack, Nice Guy Eddie, Tulune, Jordan Garvin, Albus Stinkpot, Haley, Maddlestack, Lestat, Susie Callahan, Anthony Corona, Jim X, Lady Trashley, Sean Myers, Just Liz Calabria, Mike from New Hampshire, Brett X, E. Scramo, Lil Tickler, Svento7, Jay Scramo, Bluff Pump, AK Ashley Ray, Adam Busby, Big Butthorn, Jer Latanowicz, Kaylee Sampson, Rabbit Dog in a Barbie Car, Elbander, Charlie Friday, Alexis Adler, Peaches, Emmy, Haley B, Joe Velez, Trisha Bueller, Sun-Loving Mortal, Suzanne Rode, Jadinklage Morgoon, Chloe, Kalisha Reeves, Paula Garcia, Brenda, Aaron Armstrong, Kevin Strother, Ashley Powers, The Thrift Creeper, Casey McCain, and of course, Enza. And with that, let's get back to the show. I love you.
And we're back for our choice cuts, our foie gras of moments, our top 3 favorite moments of the episode. Madison, what is your number 3?
My number free?
My number 3?
My number 3?
You have any games on your phone?
Any games on your phone? My number 3 moment is when Shauna is homeschooling Callie, and then that goes into Callie showing Shauna the video of her dumping the guts on the girls. Not that there is not many moments in this episode to pick from, because I think there's, a couple of like fun ones, but this one was just like so silly to me.
Yeah.
And it was like a very odd bonding experience for these two to have, I feel. But I think it just kind of encapsulates like their relationship and like what they've been through. And so Shauna is just like applauding her daughter for like throwing guts on these girls in school. It's just so strange. But that is my number 3 moment.
Andy?
My number 3 is the Ty and Van Dine and Dash scene. Just like the sinister way that it ends, and the eyeball man, and I'm like, what's he about? But yeah, I love a good needle drop, and
I like to watch.
Have that twist there at the end was pretty fire.
Steve?
My number 3 is also Callie and Shauna watching the Guts video. Just because I really didn't know, leading into that scene, I didn't know, like, what did she do exactly? Assaulted them with organs? And what does that look like? And just the way it was, because in my mind, because it's this show, I was thinking it was this, like, really heinous, dark fucking shit. And then we get to watch it, and it's literally just like, brown bagging it, huh? Yeah, my mom made my lunch. It's like the perfect high schooler like prank, but with just some stuff she bought at a butcher shop, which is gross, yes, but it is funny.
Yeah.
And of course Shauna would be like, oh, that was dope. Rewind that again. Can we put a filter on this? So that's my number 3.
My number 3 is the moment between Melissa and Shauna, where she's like, she's so dumb. She chipped her teeth on her dildo, vibrator or whatever, right? Like it's this, like you said, there's a meta element to it because it's a character that's never been given any lines. Like, oh, you have a personality? I just like the dynamic there. I'm curious what's going to happen. And it was a fun, entertaining moment. That's my number 3. Madison, your number 2.
My number 2 is Drunk Misty in the bar. I think that entire scene had a bunch of funny elements to it. And Christina Ricci is just awesome. But yeah, the whole shtick where she is just like, I'll order an espresso print. Actually, no, I'm gonna order a whiskey, and then takes 7 shots and then essentially assaults the men in the other room. It was just a funny scene. And then I really liked the guy sitting at the bar. It was just like, fuck yeah. Like just feeding her ego. It was just, it was
hell
funny.
yeah, get her some pappy.
Yeah, get it.
That's how you do it.
Yeah.
7 of them right down.
Right there.
I can't. I think it was like $4 shot night too, so wasn't even that bad.
No.
$28 plus tip. Andy?
My number 2 is Jeff and Shauna. Shauna's high, and they're talking about Callie doing the thing with the guts, and just it's so funny the way that Melanie Linsky's delivering these lines of like, you can't DoorDash human entrails, and she went for a boba and stuff like that, or maybe this is some fucking Gen Z TikTok bullshit. I don't know. It's fucking fire. But I also love Jeff as like the one voice of reason in this crazy household, of being like, look, our daughter walked in on a cult trying to murder you. She fucking shot one of them. I'm a fucking blackmailer. She knows all the shit. I think it's possible our kid isn't okay. You know what I mean? And like having a little bit of voice of reason made me fucking love this dude, because up to this point I haven't much. But he's a good dude. I like this scene.
Agreed.
My number 2 is specifically Walter picking up Misty from the bar. I mean, these two are so fun together, but specifically Christina Ricci is so good in the scene. Just the way she goes from like leave me alone, to finally like, oh, your friends aren't here for you. Me, Walter, I am here for you. And she cries and breaks down and is like, Natalie was my best friend. Even though that's like the complete wrong read of what the relationship was. But to Misty, that was her best friend. And that makes that moment even more sad, because if that was your best friend and she didn't treat you that well and she's gone and you're just as devastated, like, Misty sucks, but you feel bad for her.
She's a tragic character.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my number 2. I got to W before someone answered, or he got to W before someone answered. That was heartbreaking, you know? That affected me profoundly. Your favorite moment of episode 1, Madison?
My favorite was when Shauna spit in Mari's soup and then pushed her face in it.
So eat it, bitch.
Eat it, bitch. It's just like, I don't know. I'm here for it. I mean, it's just like, to me, Mari's had like anything that is coming to her, I feel like is warranted. She's just a shit character and is really annoying. And I know Shauna is like, she does do a lot of questionable things, but I do like her character and I do like sympathize with everything that she's been through. And like, I don't know, I understand the rage that she feels. So like for her to like do this is like, I don't know. I think it's funny. I think it's iconic actually. So that's my favorite moment, because I was like, oh yeah, get it, Shauna. That's so funny.
Drag her.
Andy.
My favorite scene is Misty at the bar cosplaying as Nat, not here to do her taxes. You can't do them that early. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I just fucking love her, like trying to, I don't know, emulate her best friend. It is fucking tragic and sad that was her best friend, but Christina Ricci is the reason to watch this show, and her pounding 7 shots of whiskey and then trying to set a dude's dick on fire is peak Yellowjackets for me. I fucking love it.
Steve.
My favorite moment is the dine and dash scene. That was the one where I was just kind of caught up in the two characters and just like, oh, they're happy. Let them be happy for a moment. And yeah, there's that really tragic thing where like the darkness follows them wherever they go. But for that moment, they were happy. And it's just like, if the whole world can just leave these two characters alone, just let them be happy. And it was sweet. And just there's something pure about like hey, we're gonna do a crime together. You in? Well, I'm in. Like an innocent type of crime.
Yeah,
mostly
normally.
Innocent, yeah, mostly innocent type of crime. And just the way like, I'm gonna get up to the bathroom. You follow me shortly after. I'll be back, honey. Like that whole like performance is so good. And just because you had a job's worth working a waiter job makes it a little bit less, you know?
Yeah, he was a little bit of a bootlicker, you think, but most of the restaurant policies is that would just come out of his check.
Oh, dang.
And that's a expensive restaurant too.
It sounds like that restaurant is trying to get people killed.
That bite
right.
of cotton candy was probably like $200.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh, definitely.
What do you say? I recommend one bite. Oh, thank you. That's my favorite moment as well. I wrote it down as the bush kiss, which is in hindsight not a good way to describe it, but big fan of the song Glycerine. And I did think it was a little silly that every time we get any kind of inkling of a moment like this, we have to have a Slender Man and a death. But it's also just read the room. It's the show we're in. You know what I mean? It was just a really great sequence. Things escalated really fucking quickly. And I think it was like the best part of this episode for sure, for me. But that's my number one choice cut. It's time for our honeycombs. Any kind of tids and bits or Easter eggs or little, like I said, at this point, we are really reaching for random things, but we're doing it. Madison, got a honeycomb?
The honeycombs that I found were mainly just music. I tagged Cherry Bomb by the Runaways. I think that's when Misty came into the bar, I think, is when they played. Yeah.
I've also got a bunch of music. I did pause the screen to look at Nat's cassette tape and like what tickets she had when Misty was going through her storage locker to see what all that stuff was. One thing I noticed so we're watching these on screeners. The screeners, these screeners are annoying the fuck out of me because you can't pause and look at shit. Because if you pause the video, it just throws up a giant thumbnail of what the video is. So you can't look at anything. Mm-hmm. And it's really not good for this segment of the show. But so just want me to read what's in her tape collections. We got 1987 tape for New Order.
Nice.
Great. We got Kevin's Kevin and Nat's mixtape.
Oh,
If you
Kevin
remember
Tran.
Kevin, the police officer that was killed, that she had a relationship with. She has a DOA tape, a Bauhaus mix, The Gatherings, Team Dresch. Oh, Team Dresch is actually a couple of the tickets she went. So she went and saw Team Dresch live, and she also went and saw Tuscadero live. I don't know if you
any
guys,
of these bands.
Oh, you don't know any of these bands?
No.
So I knew of DOA, Bauhaus, and The Gatherings, but I had never heard of Team Dresch and Tuscadero, which are the bands she went and saw. A lot of these are Canadian bands, which I thought was interesting.
That explains it.
This is my favorite little Easter egg of the whole show. Another tape she has is for the band Fine Young Cannibals. Do you guys know that band?
No.
They're like a one-hit wonder.
I know Bare Naked Ladies.
What's so funny because the other bands are very like punk, like old hardcore punk bands, but Fine Young Cannibals is not. Their big hit that people most know them for is the song "She Drives Me Crazy."
Oh yeah, I like that one.
No one else. But yeah, that's the.
She has
mixtape.
range.
Yes, she does. She has a lot of
range.
interest. Yeah.
In Callie's room, I spotted a Lana Del Rey poster and a Harry Styles poster.
Nice.
I think that's what that was. I'll throw that out there. The rest of mine are just music.
I mean, I did see in Misty's room, but I think we've seen this before, but she has a lot of like theater references on her in her room. There's a Phantom of the Opera poster that I clocked.
Yeah, she also has a La Cage à Folie poster. I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
Birdcage?
It's a really important play because it's one of the first examples of gay representation in Broadway, and was a Broadway musical in, I think, 1983. And it's about...
Isn't that the one the Birdcage was based on?
Oh, it might be. It might be now that I'm looking at it.
The Birdcage starring Robin Williams?
Yes. Which was based on a play, which was based on a book.
Oh, it 100% is.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. Because it's based off the 1973 French play, the same name, the story of a gay couple, the manager of a nightclub, and the romantic
Nathan Lane.
partner.
Good pull, good pull.
Adventures ensue when household dynamics intersect with an ultra-conservative politician. So yes, it is the Birdcage, yes.
Let's go.
She had a third poster, but I couldn't make out what it was. It's the middle poster.
Yeah, I wasn't familiar with that poster.
The show opens with Rancid. That's a Rancid song. Oh, nine.
Maxwell Murder?
Yeah. And then that's it. Bush, The Runaways. I didn't clock it. Oh, Cake at the end.
Cake.
I will survive.
Is that from their cover album?
It's a cover on Gold Nugget, I think.
Fashion Nugget.
Fashion Nugget.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so. At first I was afraid. I was petrified.
Is that not I Will Survive?
It is, but I owned 5 of their albums, none of which was just covers, but that song was on one of them.
Yeah, it's on Fashion Nugget.
Okay, gotcha.
Fucking loved Cake. Andy and I were big Cake heads.
I like Cake.
It sucks about the one guy.
Yeah, I was going to say, are we allowed to like Cake now? I forget about what happened exactly.
I mean,
What
that dude.
happened? Never mind.
He's a pedo, the drummer, I think.
Oh.
You really want to get that right. I think it's the drummer.
I'm pretty sure it was the drummer. Yeah.
Fact check.
Yeah. Now it's time for.
I got one more.
Oh shit!
I got one more.
Well, you don't have time. Now it's no. I'm sorry.
That was the thing that Madison. It's the thing Madison was talking about earlier in the bar. There's a poster in the background for Nardwuar, the human serviette, and Nardwuar is a Canadian sort of music journalist. He was in a band called the Evaporators in the 80s, but he's this really fun, expressive, geeky kind of guy who just does like real man on the street style interviews with a lot of famous musicians. I think his most, like, he's still active. Like, you can go on his YouTube. I think his most recent video, he was interviewing Chappell Roan. But he's really well known for his like really excitable personality, but also he goes real deep in research for his interviews. So there's a whole YouTube compilation of all the times he shocks the musicians he's interviewing, because he's like, so you were a rapper known by this name at one point in your career, right? And the guy's like, dude, I went by that name for a weekend. How do you know that?
Is there a famous video of him interviewing Renee Rapp? And
I think so.
He is like saying names from people from her middle and high school, and she's like, "How the fuck do you know that?" He's like
he's really good at doing his research, and he's always shocking people at how good he is.
I know who you're talking about.
And so, like, I had never heard of them myself. He's like a Canadian legend, though. as far as I could tell. And because I'm not like that deep into the music scene. So, but I went on a nice fun deep dive. Cause I'm like, okay, that's gotta be something. What is that? And I was going down this rabbit hole of Nardwuar and like, oh, this is fun. I like this guy.
Nardwuar. Every time he sounds like a Pokemon.
Well, he kind of he looks like he has that Pokemon energy. Like here's a photo of him.
Yeah, I have seen him before.
Nardwuar.
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 All our Canadians, write in. Let us know if you fuck with Nardwuar.
Correctsies.
Yeah, there's a lot of Canadian references in this show.
Well, if they're in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
So they're in New Jersey.
In the wilderness. It's Canadian
Yes.
wilderness.
Yes, but why is there a Canadian?
Well,
It's right there.
Most of the filming takes place in Canada, so I think it's
Sure.
that sort of they're doing a lot of reference from there.
Canadian production design.
Yeah.
Those are Canadian protein bars.
It's a Canadian bar.
Maple bars.
Yeah. Don't put maple syrup in your cocktails. We found that out the hard way. Now it's time for our buzzworthy performance. We got to nominate our favorite performance. Madison, don't let me down. Who you going to pick?
I'm gonna pick Sophie Nélisse because I think her having to feed into this rage and frustration / annoyance with the group. It's just she brings a powerful performance this episode, and so I think giving it to Sophie Nélisse. And also again, big fan of that spitting in the soup and shoving Mari's face in it afterwards. I think that's pretty fun, pretty cool. Yeah, pretty cool move. So Sophie Nélisse.
Love it. Andy?
I will be surprised if I don't vote Christina Ricci in every episode. So Christina Ricci with a bullet. She's incredible. I love her.
I'm also going with Christina Ricci. Just that heartbreaking scene with Walter just really affected me. It slayed me, and just the way she's like taking shots, and it's so like she's so fun. Like every time she's on screen, she steals every scene she's in as Misty. But this one in particular, like I got teary eyed because of that scene with Walter.
I did also weep, and I'm going to surprise all of you and go with Sophie Nélisse.
Nice.
You thought you let me down, but you didn't.
Usually that means, hey, pick Christina Ricci.
I think it looked like almost.
I was like, ooh.
You looked almost put upon in that moment.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do the thing. No, I think Sophie Nélisse starts off this season strong. We've got kind of the new drama, the new through line reflected in the present day. That's going to, I think, carry us through the extra element that we get for this season in the form of Hilary Swank. That's my theory. I.e. Melissa.
Swank.
Hilary Swank. But also, yeah, Christina Ricci fucking rocks. Love it. She did a great job. She's the one that made me choke up in this episode, and she's the one that made me laugh. But also Melanie Linsky did as well. She was funny. Hi, Melanie Linsky is funny. So tune in again. Today's Saturday. If you're listening to this day one, Monday, we're dropping our episode 2 coverage. So we'll give you some days to catch up on Severance and all that stuff, other stuff we're doing.
Bear down. We're gonna drop this soon.
That's right. Bear down, baby. Bear down. It was a plane, you think?
The baby.
That's all the time we have for right now. We love you all. Thank you for joining us. We've got to go return some videotapes. My name is Kit.
My name is Madison.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Steve.
And this is Streaming Things, streaming Yellowjackets.
Heavy streaming, heavy swing.